Well, hey there, friend. Welcome back. Today is going to be a busy afternoon. It's already afternoon, and we've got a lot of things on the list of what we're hoping to get made for freezer meals. So, whether you're wanting to just make freezer meals for yourself to have on hand, or for postpartum, or for a friend, we have a family member who is going to be having a surgery soon, and so we really want to make some freezer meals to make life easier and also to help recovery. And so our goal for most of the dishes we're going to make today are to be making them about as nutritious as possible. So the first thing we're going to make is chicken noodle soup. So we have got some fresh milled kamut flour right here, and we're going to make some noodles for it. I had a chicken in the stock pot yesterday, so I have all the chicken tore off, and now the bones are just in the stock pot, getting all the goodies out of there, and then we will finish that process. But we're going to get going with the noodles first, because especially with it being fall, it's a perfect time to have it, but there's not a whole lot more nutritious than chicken noodle soup. Just wait until well, as I was doing some other things, I got to thinking, and I kind of think that I used soft white wheat berries for the pasta noodles instead of kamut, which is not what I meant to do. But I guess that is what happens when you're trying to do too many things at once. But so we'll see how those turn out. But next time I'll be using kamut noodles or kamut wheat berries. But we are going to try to roll them out anyways, and maybe they won't make the most perfect noodle, but we will see. Going to be going back and forth between some of the meals, but I have quite a few veggies to get prepped. So because I'm also going to be making some chicken pot pies. So we have lots of onion. I'll share the recipe. I usually follow the Pillsbury one, kind of as a base, but I'll share what I do differently as I go, but I'll probably also put a little bit more onion than what it calls for. And I'm also going to be making 2 of them. But I've got some onions to prep for that and the chicken noodle soup, celery, carrots, all that. So that's what I'm gonna do to make the rest of the process a little bit quicker. So I pretty much listened to the amount of butter to put in there, amount of flour, and the broth and milk. And then the chicken and veggies, salt, pepper. I also add the chicken base flavoring, chicken broth flavoring, and that to it. And all of that is just to taste. But otherwise, the base is good. This is the broth and milk. I just added like a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more of the chicken base. I will also say that I can my own chicken broth, and when I do it, I don't add veggies or salts or anything to it. I just have the water and bones. So just so I get all the nutrition out of it, and then I flavor it more how I want it now. So if you are using a more flavorful broth or one from the store that has more flavor, that could definitely change how much broth base you put in there, or if you put any in there at all. But once this thickens up, then we will add the chicken and veggies. And normally I would warm it up and then just put it in the pie crust, put it in the oven. But since we are putting it in the freezer, I want this to cool off before putting it in the pie crust. So I'll probably just take it off the stove. See how much chicken I can fit in here. I think it's probably enough. And then after I add all of the veggies and chicken, I do take a couple bites to see if I need a little bit more flavoring. It's kind of fun as we have a bunch of carrots from our garden. I did can a good chunk of them, but I also left as much as I could in the crispers in our extra fridge in a bag. So far, most of them are storing very well. So that's fun to have fresh carrots. Well, I'm really hoping that these noodles are going to turn out at least somewhat well, even if they're not perfect, because so far my fresh milled pie crust did not turn out. So we're just going to resort back to my classic, and one day we will get that figured out. But today is not the day. So we'll give those a few minutes to soften just a little bit, and then they will cool off. My goal is to cook the noodles a little bit, but not too much. So I ended up splitting making these meals over, I'm going to be doing it over a couple days because it was just a little bit much for that day specifically. So today we are going to be doing a shepherd's pie because I have some leftover mashed potatoes and we're going to throw it together. And I'm going to be using ground beef, even though I think traditionally it's technically lamb for a shepherd's pie, but this is what we're going to do. And I also have some beans going. I'm going to try to make homemade refined beans for some frozen burritos. So we're going to see how fast we can get these whipped up. And I'm just going to end up browning 4 pounds of hamburger. So this will be enough for the burritos and the shepherd's pie, rather than doing it twice later. I put some plastic wrap on it and the lid and wrote the instructions, and into the freezer they go. Well, I have tried making refried beans from scratch before, like once or twice, and they didn't really turn out that good. I've never been impressed by them, and I really just don't think I was following the process how I was supposed to or given it the time. But I really wanted to do it this time because I wanted to soak the beans long enough and in hopes that it will make them easier to digest and just more enjoyable to eat. But these turned out so good and delicious, and if I was making them as a side, I would put some cheese and maybe even sour cream in it. But since I'm going to be putting cheese and making more of a burrito, I'm going to keep it just more like regular refried beans, I guess. So I just have some refried beans, and then I'm going to just put some shredded cheddar and top it with a taco meat, roll them up and put them in the freezer. We always have like either sour cream or Greek yogurt and salsa or fresh tomatoes to have as a topping for it. I'm sure they'll be great by themselves, but that is kind of what I am thinking. Okay, so I changed my mind and I decided to actually mix the burritos or the beans and the beef together before assembling, just because it would make it a lot easier to make more even distribution. And I thought maybe it'd just be better when you eat it to be more mixed up. So we're going to actually put some cheese down first, and then we will put the beef and bean mix on top. Now you can certainly put all these burritos in a pan for a supper meal, an actually meal to feed your family. But for these ones in particular, I'm actually going to use them more as a single serve option. So the other day I was making meals for a family member who was going to be having surgery, and these meals are more for us for busier times as fall and harvest start. So these ones are going to be great for my husband to take to work if he wants, or a quick supper if needed. So I always wrap them in a paper towel, just like I do breakfast burritos, and then aluminum foil. Put them in a Ziploc bag, and then they're good to go in the freezer. And as I was making these, I remembered just how I would always used to eat the frozen burritos that you can buy at Walmart, the beef and bean burritos. So just reminded me of that, I guess. But I'm excited to have a healthier option for that. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found a little inspiration for some freezer-friendly meals that can make yours or your family's or friends' lives a little bit easier. So thank you for watching and for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye, friends.